All right, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brian Perdue, CEO of Audimate with the AI Growth Advisor here. And so, as you guys know, AI is changing the world as we know it. And we want to just introduce you with Intuit as the opportunity on how you can solve one of the biggest problems facing the accountant channel today, which a lot of bookkeepers and CPA firms are overwhelmed because they're drowning in data. There's no time for analysis. You can't advise clients, and a lot of times there's a low value work only. And what we want to do during this demo is show you how you can revolutionize this with the AI Growth Advisor. You can get unified scorecards, instant insights, get over 7,000 of the best strategies in the world implemented for your businesses and your customers, and then you can get automated advisory. So with the strategic advisor, you're going to be able to, possibly even 3x your revenue and get premium pricing, and you'll be an indispensable partner. And also, you're going to get future-proof your business. And everything we do is based on the ASTD study, which shows that if you have these three things, based on research, you're 95% more likely to hit your goals. First thing you have to have is a clear focus. The next thing you have to have is a strategy. And the third thing is you have to have weekly accountability. If you're able to give your clients those three things, or even your own firm those three things, you're going to be 95% more likely to hit your goals. So let me ask you guys a question. Imagine you get started at a new place. The CEO comes to you and says, here's your boss, here's your strategy, here's your number, enter it weekly, or it's automatically populated for you. I'll meet with you on Friday with your manager. Research shows you 95% more likely to hit that number. We help you get there with any client or employee in less than 3 minutes. And we're going to show you how to do that. So obviously our speaker here today is myself and Mike. He'll be introducing himself as well in just a second as he presents the first portion intro, because he knows this market cold. So I'm just going to quickly go through the agenda here. So first thing, we'll just do a 5-minute introduction, which we just did. Then we're going to talk about, for 10 minutes, the industry crisis and your reality. Then we're going to spend about 10 minutes talking about the revolutionary AI solution and best practices. And we're going to do 3 demos. And then my favorite part is we're going to get into questions and answers. And so we'll be able to answer any of your questions, both on a technical side, accounting side, or from the AI side. And please feel free to ask questions. We love your questions. If you put your questions in the chat, we'll keep a list of those as we're going through. So just write them down and we'll answer them at the end. All right, Mike, want to kick us off?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Greenblatt. I am one of the operating partners over at No Logo. We are a accounting consulting firm and labor support, specializing in helping firms scale and grow their business. I spend my time talking to firms from accounting, CPA, bookkeeping, all up and down the industry about the issues that we are all facing and how that's come to play. So where do we sit today regarding the crisis that is facing accounting firms? As everyone is familiar, there is a strong reduction in our talent pool, whether that be that there are less accounting graduates. It's almost 7 to 8% per year over the last 5 years recurring, which puts us at 30% lower than where we were back in 2020. On the same part of that, we are dealing with the average firm aging out a lot of its old legacy employees. With those two factors, we come into how does our firm grow today? How do we compete with what I call heavier demands and a different understanding of who our client base is today? Firms are fighting and competing more on price as the expectation rises in terms of what clients expect. However, there is a continual, I'll call it misunderstanding that we're all facing, where everyone expects that caviar taste and that Coke budget, right? Clients want to get more and more and more, but with the introduction of the word AI, they expect to get it at a lower cost, which makes it hard to really compete. Add in the reduction in talent, reduction in staffing, turnover issues being on average 18 months for new employees. Um, we're really challenged in today's space. On top of that, every firm hears the word AI, and all of a sudden, firms are either trying to understand how it will replace them, how it will take away what they're doing, rather than how it can supplement them. Brian, you're on your, there you go. Hold on.
Oh,
Your page is up. All righty. You want to go on to the next slide. So how do we transform our firm today? I often talk about with a lot of my customers and a lot of other firms that I support with on how do we go from commodity accounting to strategic advisor? How do we stay so very important to our customers that we are gaining and adding so much to their business? With the introduction of AI over the last few years, what we encounter is people just expect that they get a P&L. They expect to get their balance sheet. And that is going from called a sliding scale, the commoditized portion of accounting. Um, Too much competition on price. And it's not competition on, who's adding the most value. It's who can do it the cheapest. And when you start hearing the word cheap, it innately reduces the value of the business and creates a heavy ease of entry and ease of exit. Staff members become just a processing number. Clients see you as an expense, and the second their business is not doing as well as it needs to be, they go and search for a cheaper option. We want to talk about today, and what Brian is doing over at Audimate is creating and how we can find the strategic advisor, how we can find that premium value pricing, that we're not competing on who has the lowest cost, but who has the most value we can give to our clients, how we can grow firms from 15, 20, 30 clients to 20, 30, 40, 50 call clients per one of your staff members. Grow your firms to being, over 100 clients in an easy fashion without creating labor and scale issues. Deliver strategic advice. You know, Clients want to see you as a strategic partner in terms of what you're doing, how you're operating, how you can, change the business model. Brian, if you want to switch to the next slide. So the commodity crisis, as we just went over, is that there's too much of it. There's too many competing factors of what I'll say the old style of bookkeeping. 10 years ago, your bookkeeper was one of your most trusted advisors. Now the word bookkeeper is almost derogatory. It's why we have so many departments called CAS, Client Accounting Solutions. It's how we are today. How do we evolve from that commoditized P&L, that product, to that strategic advisor, where your client is going to pick up the phone and they view you as an expert in your space? If you want to switch to the next slide, we're going to ask our first poll question. So I'll wait for a second. The poll question that we are asking is, how many of you view yourself as leaders or experts in the industries your clients are in? Not just accounting, not just bookkeeping, but if your clients are in real estate or restaurants or other areas of business, you view yourself as a leader. You can answer questions. Your client calls you about something going on their side. I know all of the customers I work with. I try to do my best to understand their KPIs, their margins, as if it was my own business. We'll let this go for a little bit longer as we get some answers. We're going to be closing out the poll now. Brian wants to go into our second question. The second question, and I want everyone to be honest, is how many of you, and I see everyone's answers from the first portion, view your junior or mid-level staff as experts? How many of you say, hey, if I have a 24-year-old, 25-year-old who's working on accounts, do I view them as an expert in the business? Do I think that they can give what else? Do I feel comfortable that they can give the same level advisory services? One of the things I talk about often is, what does the word advisory actually mean? What that means differently to a managing partner or a senior executive, to What does that mean as a junior and staff level? And oftentimes those are very different things. We talk about from commodity to service and key advisor. It's just being able to determine what that advisory actually means. We're going to let this poll go for another 10 or so seconds as we get some of the answers to come in. Why I brought up the advisory portion is because if we can define the word advisory, we have the ability to really build our practice, build service value, move away from just simple commodity bookkeeping. All right. So as the polls are kind of showing and what we're looking at now, there is a pretty wide gap, called a 75% gap. The majority of owners view themselves, whether at a smaller level to which is that I know enough about my businesses to compete. I know enough to have, positive strategy, to being an expert. To the average, being your general staff, we don't feel confident in giving advice. We're somewhere in between. If your junior staff, if the ones that are talking to the majority of your clients are advisors, are key specialists, that's a difference between almost $1,000 from that commoditized portion all the way through really service value add. If you want to switch to the next one. So as we're talking here, from commodity to premium advisory, what does this mean? This means competing from potentially hundreds of dollars to over $1,000 of general service offerings. It goes from ease of entry and ease of exit being so high, staying sticky with our clients. We're the first person that they call. We're the ones that they want to ask and understand and talk to about all of their accounting related issues. And that goes from their clients, goes from client service, goes to trouble, dealing with a problem. And finally, it's not competing on price. It's truly competing on the value you're offering your clients. When the value matches their expectation, the price really doesn't matter, as we've all seen over the years. If all we're worried about price, then we don't add, and then we're not adding the value that is truly important to the clientele. So what if simple question that AudieMate's going to show how they handle it is, what if your junior staff could deliver advice like Warren Buffett? What if you had 7,000 proven strategies from the best business minds that you could implement in 3 minutes and not 3 hours, that you could utilize the knowledge and power of AI to enhance anyone on your staff, that you're adding so much value back to the business that your clients are never going to want to leave you and never going to question if you either raise prices or just your prices in general. So I want to transition this now, and Brian's going to take over from here about how he handles this and the great strategies that AudieMate does.
All right. Thanks, Mike. That was awesome. So as you guys know, transformation is all about making good decisions, right? Your clients making good decisions, and also who's giving your clients the best advice, and they didn't do it, and then they end up failing, right? That happens with me and my kids all the time. I wish they just do what I said, It's sometimes, it's hard to get people to do what you say unless you can give them real numbers, real data, and real accountability. And that's what you can give now to your clients, right? So you're going to be able to transform information into growth strategies instantly that you can hand them, that are valuable to these businesses. So you can help these business owners stop drowning in data and start growing with AI-powered strategies personalized for their business and delivered in just one click, right? Where you can customize it and you can be the hero and you can deliver them from the chaos, right? Because as you know, most businesses have at least 5 systems that they use to manage their business. They'll have a financial system, which they might have cash flow issues. They have their CRM, which they might have slowing sales. They have, payroll or also satisfaction scores, and from other systems. And all this data means, they are overwhelmed and they don't have any clear goals. And so this is kind of the information paradox, right? So most firms know how to get their data in one place, but they don't know what to do with it. I can't tell you how many firms I know spent $1 million trying to get all their data in a big giant data warehouse. And they're like, hey, what you doing with that? And like, yeah, we haven't figured out that yet. We're still trying to figure out how to get people to look at our 5,000 reports. right? We created this great report, but no one looks at it. And so it's a problem, right? We can't serve our clients unless you can really help them make better decisions consistently, because you all know it's consistency that matters. Being consistent at the right strategy every week is going to deliver success. You can't tell me I'm wrong on that, right? Um, and all you know is most likely the verticals that you guys serve the most. Like each one of you has probably specialized in certain niche markets, right? As you guys know, riches are in the niches. And so you might be focusing on the real estate market or the restaurants, e-commerce, you know, but you can't be an expert at all and you can't win at all. And so all of you have your expertise, and that expertise is valuable because you can take that expertise with your existing clients or generate new clients and take strategic insights at the speed of thought. So what took you, 5 hours to do can be done in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and deliver that value quickly with a new entry level bookkeeper, or your mid-level staff, or you can just have one person, help advise every single one of your businesses. And so that way you can transform their information into a competitive advantage. So we have a great opportunity, right? With AI, it's actually an opportunity. It's a wave, right? And you guys get to choose to ride that wave. And the best way to ride that wave is you do what the Fortune 500 companies are doing. They're combining the finance, their sales, their marketing, their operations, and their legal into one dashboard. They're getting all that data into one place and they're applying AI to it. Not just their financials, because the financials just tells you what happened, right? If you I don't know if you've ever had a client come to you and they say, "Hey, I lost $100,000. Can you tell me why it happened? I understand the cost, but why did it happen?" Well, it happened probably because of operations dropped and they lost a few clients. Whatever that reason is, it's usually in the operational sales systems, which typically you guys are involved in. And if you really want to advise them, you have the whole picture. And what we do is you help you click, apply, and grow. So you can connect to over 500 apps with one click and get your entire business context in one place. Then you can apply the perfect strategy. We help with AI, we help you, whatever your context is in any report, we help tell you what that strategy is. And then we tailor it to the exact situation that you're having. So we can take the best financial strategies ever created, like profit first, and apply them in seconds. So you get personalized intelligence, that knows your business. And the way we set this up is you enter details about the business. We already preload it, so it actually knows your business. And then you're going to help them transform that into action. We gamify it for your clients or your internal employees, and so that you can use the AI Growth Advisor to turn those strategies into step-by-step actions and watch those metrics improve. And you can actually give your clients, hey, since you brought us on board, you've got a 20% increase in sales, 10% increase in operations, and I'm helping you get this chart's going up. And you can actually show your value. That's because you have 7,000 proven strategies, and you can load your own. If you guys work with plumbing companies, you can take that. Or if you work with franchises, you can take their standard operating procedures, because the hardest thing in franchise is get them to follow the process. If everybody follows the process, every time you can get a 14-year-old to make you the perfect McDonald's hamburger. Doesn't matter if you're here or in Hong Kong, you're going to expect it to be the same. That's amazing. That's what we need to be able to do with these businesses, right? Give them a process and get them to follow it. So what if you could get the best business minds, Warren Buffett on your team, Jim Collins, and get them on board and get them helping them apply their best strategies or the world's best strategies in less than 3 minutes. I hope that's exciting to you, because it's exciting to me, because we built this product to help us grow faster. And that's why we're excited about giving it to you, because it's helped us grow and create accountability with a click, an apply, and a grow. So you can link your QuickBooks Online, your Salesforce CRM, your 500 plus apps, choose the proven strategy, apply that, have it customized exactly to your business, and you have it gamified. And we've patented this process. So this is part of our business strategy going forward. So, or it's in the patent approval process. Also, I'd love to talk to you guys about, your Apple Watch, right? Everybody's got probably an Apple Watch, and you got 3 scores. You got sleep score, an activity, and stand score, right? So with that, we're going to give you the ability to give your clients those 3 scores too. So you're going to be able to say, hey, here's your financial score, here's your marketing score, here's your operation score. So you can meet with them. And it doesn't matter if it's one location or 50 or 1,000, you're going to be able to meet with the corporate and say, hey, out of your 1,000 locations, this is how well you're doing. Or that one location, here's how you're doing. So, um, so that way you can get the legendary insights of my favorite marketer, Seth Godin, applied, so you can not only have to be a financial expert, but now you can be a marketing expert, a sales champion, an operations titan. You can even help them with legal. Like obviously there'll probably be a disclaimer there or two, but you can actually help them with all 5 categories because as you guys know, if a business fails at any one of these 5 pillars, you'll go out of business. Doesn't matter if you have the best sales in the world. If you drop operations, eventually you go out of business. If your financials aren't in line, you're going to go out of business. Businesses need all 5. That's why 96% of businesses fail in 10 years is because it's really hard to get everybody to be consistent to improve these 5 pillars of business.
Brian, go back for 1 second because I want to talk about that a tiny portion. What
Sure.
Brian's talking about here is, and I want to make sure everyone understands, is this is allowing, and he's going to show it in a demo in a few minutes, to enhance what we had spoken about previously, is enhancing that junior, that mid-level, that staff member overall, and turning them into that finance legend, that marketing master, that chief of sales. Is going to allow them to really push themselves up the board, right? So
Yes.
many people, due to the labor shortage and the overall, place that the industry in, we're limited to the staff that we have. But if we can enhance that staff member, if we can ensure that we have a supplement to what we're already doing, the knowledge that we're already able to take and times that by, tenfold, it's going to make your firm so much more valuable. And that's what Automate's doing. It's taking what you have in place, not looking to replace it, that a lot of AI is doing. And it's allowing you to enhance and grow your service. And what you're going to show, Brian, in a few minutes is how it actually does that, how it takes Warren Buffett and Seth Godin and Jim Collins and all of their great business strategies and allows you at your firm to operate as if you have that information. It allows you to take your clients' financials and information that you're able to pull and create insane amount of value back to them. So I just wanted to add a little bit of context there so everyone understands how this is going to actually work.
Awesome. Thank you. That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 3 demos with you. Okay. The first demo is I'm going to talk about our complete platform because AI is only as valuable as the data that you have. A lot of people are talking about the tailwind of AI. And that means, hey, first thing was people could prompt with it. The second thing was people have it in their apps. And the third thing is getting your data to AI. And that's what we solve, that tailwind problem that the Fortune 500 companies are trying to solve. And you can solve it for your SMB business, a dental practice down the street like nobody else. So let me go through an interactive walkthrough of our other features of our application so you can see that. But we're all here to talk about AI and learn more about it. So I want to make sure I'm true to that. But I do want to show you how we make that possible. Is we have the best-in-class reporting, especially for multi-unit businesses. And I would consider CPA firms and bookkeeping firms multi-unit. You got 1,000 clients, you got 1,000 connections. You need to see them in one place, right? You guys are multi-unit business, and it's hard to do that. Right? So and also every single one of those units has different needs, KPIs, gamified tracking, industry benchmarks, and health checks that you need to be able to do, and you need to be able to assign it to your employees. We help you do that. So you can offer, advisory services because the data is good. So we do health checks on your data to make sure it's right and consolidated so you can see it in one place so you can make good decisions. The next demo we're going to show is going to show you, actually, let's just go to one at a time here. So I'm going to go into the product demo. This is our website here. So if I scroll down, we have a page here that gives you the ability to see all the core features of our app. So one of them I already talked to you about is helping companies stop drowning in data and consolidate all 5 systems in one simple place, right? So that's our interactive scorecard, and we have kind of an interactive tutorial here. So here's our dashboard. You're able to see all of your employees or your clients' employees here, so you can hold them accountable, and you can see that we gamify this. So my kids have Duolingo, right? And I thought, oh, that's cool. But I thought, they're going to try this out for a couple days and they're not going to use it. Well, my kids are learning Spanish for years. My kid came in the other day and said, Daddy, can I have some money? I got a 100-day streak. And I was like, sure, you can have $1. But I probably should have given her more for that. But that consistency is awesome, right? And so if you go in and you look at all your employees and you can say, hey, Emily has kept her streak for 5 weeks. She's entered her numbers. If they're manual numbers, we have the best system to enter manual numbers on a consistent basis and hold your team accountable because they have to enter it to keep their streak. How many of your clients is like, hey, I asked that person for that number. You don't have to worry about it. It gets filled out as long as they keep their streak. We actually make it for AudieMate. If you don't keep your streak, you go into a PIP program because I want to be able to look at this at the end of the week and know it's accurate and I have everything I need to make decisions for next week. So right here, you have a 78. That means out of all the metrics you have given this person, they're at 78%. Okay. Now, if I look at this, I can see Leo here is not kept his streak. He's at 1. He hasn't entered his numbers the last 5 weeks when we started this program, and he's at 65%. So he has 3 major tasks, and we can drill into Leo and then start having a conversation with him. And you all know if everybody has a number, they're going to be more successful, right? So let's get started to monitor your KPIs and data quality. All right. So first thing you can know is we have the streak guy right here, which I just talked about, and you can see how many times you kept streak. Now, we got a little guy here, Adi Gear, and he's sad because you haven't kept your streak yet. So what we're going to do is go through the weekly challenge. And then we're also going to talk about how it's easy. You can have a conversation with a client and help them create a focus goal. Okay. I'm going to go. Okay. So let's talk about a focus goal here. Now, I told you that in order to be 95% more likely to hit your goal, you have to have a focus goal. So what you want to do, let's imagine you're meeting with a client and you're like, hey, listen, let's look at your numbers here. Here's your year, January to July, where you started to pivot here and started to really jump up, and you're taking some traction. Let's focus on that period and let's look at your, different scorecards. So right now you're doing amazing. You got a 96 score. So you're crushing it. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in and say, hey, look, let's focus on one of these scorecards. So let's focus, on your P&L or your cash, or most importantly, let's focus on how good your data is, right? You can't make decisions without a good bookkeeper or CPA firm entering the numbers in there correctly, right? And so if there's data quality issues in the data, we can detect that. We pull the whole GL and we're able to tell you if they've been reconciled transactions. And that what's nice too, as a firm, if let's say you have 100 bookkeepers, you could then we have a hierarchy. You could then assign all your bookkeepers to certain clients, and you can build a scorecard and hold them accountable to making sure that all the numbers are closed in the month, and you can use the health check to do that. So in this dashboard, you can see that you have unreconciled bank transactions, and there's 45,000. There's some cleanup that needs to happen before you make a decision. Our tool and every number tells you the health of that number. Now, we can turn that off in our feature. Some clients don't like that, but you can actually then say, hey, if you sign up with us, you're always going to know your numbers are healthy when you see your reports. There's a little indicator right here, and you can give the clients a clear, fuzzy feeling that knowing that you cleared the books, right? Because you only can improve what you can see. So let's see their metrics right here and look at the different types of views that you can see. So when you create a metric in our system, you actually get 5 in 1. So you're able to see the different views, and you can easily explore and unlock the 5 distinct perspectives for your clients. Most people really like obviously the dashboard, but like a coach would love this. Imagine being able to see all your clients like this and being able to help them make better decisions and say, ooh, Orlando needs some help here. If you work with franchise, it's really helpful. You can have all 5,000 or 500 brands in here and easily, manage them. You can see their overall score is 20%, 20 here out of 100. You can see this one's doing good. And you can also stack rank them by percentile or by value. So you can benchmark them because everybody does better when there's accountability. Next thing we can do is you can look at the prior period view. When you look at somebody's history and how well they're doing, you have to look at more than one period. So like a salesperson, they might do great 1 month, and do bad the next two, but they might be doing good overall because they just crushed a deal, right? And so you can tell that to the client by looking at 4 periods. Now, you can run this for 12 months and look at all, 4 years of data in here, or you can run it by the last, month, or you can run it for the last week. You can see the different data periods in here. One of my favorites is the map view. You can see the performance of all the teams on the map. Okay. We also have amazing filters where you can filter down. You can see, and I want to see only the reds. And then you can also segment the data like, if you have a shell company, you could have like a lot of times you have like a shell company, and then you might have 2 or 3 other companies. You need to combine their financial books. You can do that in our system. And then you can also see them all in one report as well. It's very useful. All right, now if you click on any number, you can easily see a drill down. Every number in our system is drill downable because you can't understand a number unless you can drill down into it. Another problem that we solve is to be able to consolidate your data. So, if someone has one location, they have 5 systems. If someone has, 10 locations, they have 50 apps they have to log into. And if you're like, a CPA or bookkeeping firm, guess what? If you're just doing the financials, you probably have, 100, 200, maybe 500 to 1,000 apps running through. You can manage it all in one place. It's going to make your life easier, but then you can actually start adding their CRMs. And we also add new systems all the time. Now, that way you can drill down and you can easily see consolidated statements. So let's talk about that real quick. You can click here on reports. These are the different menu options here. So if you go into reports, you can click that, and you can see we have all the standard reports that you want, like Cavinci, Profit Keeper, let's say all the different reports in QuickBooks, but they're all consolidated in one place. But you can see the balance sheet reports, profit and loss, AR aging, AP aging. We also have marketing and operational reports, and we do custom reports. So if there's a custom report that you need, you can build that in our system and move forward from there. I do want to add that the scorecards and everything you just saw can be built either with AI or with, and you can configure it very easily. So it's very easy to customize and set up. And we have very simple onboarding. We also have views. What's nice about this is how many of you have to send financial reports to a client where you're consolidating 3 or 4 systems, right? Let's say you're consolidating the shell and 3 books, and then they want it and you put it in Excel, or you're doing that. If you could just save those reports for the client and say, hey, here's Bob, here's your consolidated P&L statement for your organization, or hey, VC company, here's your consolidated financial statement between all 7 locations. You can do that, or reports for each client. And then you're also able to manage the different breakdowns of financial performance in here and filter on those. So, you're that way you can actually have full control of those things, right? Now, the other thing that you can do is I'm going to show you the AI Growth Advisor in the next demo, okay, in just a second. One thing, we have the best multi-unit and integration product on the market, especially with QuickBooks. So that way, if you want consolidated data in one place for yourself, right, for franchise, or just one SMB, you're going to love this product. It can handle all of those different use cases, right? And I'll talk more about that later. But you can manage, like a lot of times you have to build, you use SaaS Ant. We got started like kind of had a SaaS Ant replacement app. And I'll just show that to you real quick. If we go to apps.com, you can actually see our app. If you type in AudyMate here, you're going to see, we have great support. So we have 600 5-star reviews on the App Store right here. And this is a Cavinci, or I'm not Cavinci, a SaaS Ant kind of replacement, but it's for multi-location. So if you ever like scratching your head, is like, I'm struggling with SaaS Ant to figure out how to run these integrations and the builder for all my locations, you can easily do that in here. You just click this button, and then you can manage, like kind of like in QuickBooks. You have the accountant section, and then you can see everybody and kind of manage it in one place. Our product works that way. So you can then manage all your integrations for all your different clients in one place and their reports. Because if you have good data, you got to get good data in the systems and you can actually build those. Now, we do custom point of sale system integrations all the time. One of our clients at UPS, I think we have 2,500 locations for them doing point of sale integration. So it's a great place for you if you need to be able to have, I'm tired of entering this data manually from this point of sale in QuickBooks. We can integrate that for you, and you'll be able to see it in one portal, manage it in your scorecard, and have that easy breezy peace of mind, knowing that we synced everything for you in one easy place, right? We currently connect over 500 systems. And we do also do data consolidations. So now I'm going to go to our next demo, which is pretty exciting. Now you're going to get a link at the end. It's not ready yet. It'll be ready in about a week, but you're going to be able to have, we're giving away 1,500 business books that you can use with click a button. You don't even have to log in for a limited time, right? So you're going to have finance, marketing, operations, sales, legal, and even personal development books that you can apply for yourself or your business. Take your favorite book. We'll probably have it in here. If you have your favorite book in here, then let us know if you want a book. Just hit feedback. And also please feel free to ask any questions during the Q&A, and we'll go through those. All right. So let's just imagine that we want to talk about making you guys more than just able to do financial stuff, right? So let's imagine that your client's like, hey, my sales, I'm looking at your sales and your sales aren't doing as good. And I know have you even thought about doing marketing? And you could say, hey, let's look at this book here, right? Now you can ask them if they want to read it, so they can click read, and then we do have the ability for you to listen to it online, so you can actually listen to it. Our summaries are better than Blinkist or short form. Trust me, we've spent a lot of time on these summaries so that you can have the best awesome content for you to help your clients with, right? Now, what's really cool is if you want to apply that strategy, right? This is the marketing acquisition strategy. You can just run this prompt. And this one here, let's do offer generosity first. I like this one because I'm basically offering you guys generosity first. I'm giving you 1,500 business books, right, that you can apply for your business. So you can, in this strategy, they're going to focus, remember I told you the 3-step process. They're going to focus on a single high impact giveaway. They're going to implement an AI tool to analyze user feedback and signups, and then it's going to track conversions from free offers to paying customers, right? So this is going to create a concise lead magnet strategy that solves common questions. Now, if there's any lead questions, if you have any questions, please let me know, Francisco, and we'll be able to answer those during the presentation here. Emphasizing, practicality and immediate value and giving away. So what we're doing here is doing that for you, right? So you're basically going to pick your book strategy, you're going to apply it with AI, and then AI is going to build a scorecard to hold you accountable. Because who cares if you know the strategy? It's not knowing, it's doing that matters, right? And so this is actually on our website, you actually show you in the actual scorecards we build, and each one is different for each one. So this one you got, launch and high value lead magnet, free resources, but it's going to be customized to your specific business, right? Now we do have research on here of all the businesses implementing these strategies and how much it's helped them. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on run this prompt now, but first thing I need to do is make sure I'm logged in. So I'm going to log into my account right here. All right, now I'm logged into the app. And so I'm going to go back over to Offer Generator first and hit run this prompt, right? And when I click that button, what's going to happen is it's going to open up that prompt, okay? So right here, you can see, hey, welcome. And we have a little guy that's going to walk you through the process and help you get started. It says, hey, let's do this. So I'm going to shut him down, but he's going to follow you through as an interactive tutorial to help you hit goals faster, right? So what this does is it pulls in, relevant information about your business, right? And then when you're ready to run, you just hit the run button and then it runs it. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the value proposition of free book giveaways, right? And then we're going to focus on customer pain points, right? So let's say needs, knowledge, right? And implementation, right? Need knowledge to implement this quickly with the perfect strategy, period. A simple book summary that you can click on and then apply the strategy in seconds. And then we can put in here, you can actually replace ChatGPT. We actually use the latest models, the highest end models possible. So you can actually, choose your model, but we don't even do the low end models. So there's no like low end models in here. So if you want to use the latest GPT or the latest Perplexity or the latest Grok, it automatically, as soon as Grok 4 comes out or 5 comes out, it's going to start using Grok 5, right? You don't have to think about it. It shows you what you're using here, and then you can actually choose different types of outputs. I want a diagram, I want an infographic. And then once you hit run, it knows about your business as well. Once you hit run here, what it's going to do is this one, is going to understand your business, what you want to accomplish, and it has information about our website, and everything about that business. And it's going to go and it's going to generate the perfect scorecard for the business, right? And give you that, interactively. It's going to show it to you as it builds it out for you. And we do have all our strategies loaded. You can click this view all strategies and use them in the system as well. You don't have to use the website. And as you can see, it's actually giving you the strategy and how to implement this for your business, right? I'm going to wait for this to complete. But what I want you to understand is AI does better when it has good context. If you said, hey, give me a good idea, it's not going to give you a good idea. But if you said, hey, here's my business, here's my information, help me with this, right? And so now as an advisor, you can then come in here and edit this for your business and see how it's a rich, nice editor. So you can go in here, and say, focus on this, and then you can edit this. You can also, if you don't like something, just like you do, ChatGPT or Claude, you can create another version, and then you can then continue to have conversations. What's nice here is, hey, this is for marketing acquisition for your customers to offer generosity first. You can click this button to read about the strategy. We just read about it. Now, what's really cool is, let's say as an advisor, you in our platform, you can white label it, and then you can then turn off the AI features, right? And so you need to talk this kind of enterprise version of the app, but then you can then make these strategies for your customers, and they never even know that AI did it. They're going to just be like, holy cow, they didn't just give me my P&L, my balance sheet. They gave me the strategy to reduce my expenses. And I'm going to show you that next. Now, once you're ready, what matters is action. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on create strategy here. All right, now I can say, hey, what do I want to do? I can put some information here. So I'm going to go in here and just say Alt L, focus on book summaries and how we can maximize traffic conversion for our website, right? And then I'm just going to click update here. Now this takes a good 30, 40 seconds. It's actually looking at your strategy, your business, and it's then taking that information through our pending patented process to actually generate the perfect strategy. So that way you can create that 3-step trifecta: perfect focus goal, perfect strategy, weekly accountability. Now, if you went to your own employees and you said, hey, we're going to start this tomorrow, and every single employee had a number, had a strategy, and met with you weekly, or their manager weekly, and you met with those managers, I guarantee you're most likely going to get a 20% or 30% improvement in your ROI and your business in the next 12 months. You're doing exactly what Google said to do, right? Google said they were successful because they did 2 things well. 1, they had the right strategy, right? Democratized search. 2, they had the right accountability. They used KPIs to manage it. And that was one of the reasons that they were so successful. Now, what it did was it actually created the perfect scorecard for your specific use case. So it says increase conversion rates from book summaries, increase the quality, book summary content, improve average session duration, and increase your book summary page views. What? I don't know anything about marketing. This actually did it for me, and it set realistic goals. I have no idea how this works, but this is awesome, right? I click the create scorecard. Oh, I got to assign it to somebody. You can't do that without a scorecard being assigned to somebody. I assign it to myself. I hit create scorecard. Now I'm accountable, right? Now, what's nice is it opens up our accountability section where you have all your scorecards here. And you can see not only your automated QuickBooks metrics in here with the numbers for the last 4 months, which you can't edit, but now you have the ability to have editable numbers right here for weekly metrics or monthly metrics. So right here, we said increase conversion rates for book summaries. I can click on this button and I'm like, what is this? I can hover over it and it says my goal's 5, right? So for this week, and it automatically sets goals for you. Who wants to go through 12 months of data for your clients or 24 months of data and figure out what their goals should be? This thing does it for you, but then you can customize it on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, right? So I'm gonna enter that number here. Notice I'm at 100%. That's awesome. All right, this goal here is 5.2. So I'm gonna click 2 here. You're gonna see I'm at 40%. I'm gonna click this one, make it 3. I'm at 75%, and I'm gonna click on this one, enter 2. I'm not even close to the goal, right? I need 1,000. So I'm really hurting on this one. All right, so now I go over here and I'm gonna enter in what I'm gonna tell my boss I'm gonna do, right? And so I'm going to hit Alt L. I'm going to go through and really work on why our sessions aren't happening. My final number, I know it's struggling. I'm going to come up with a strategy and I'll let you know by our next meeting, period. So now I'm going to check this box and I got my streak. Right now I'm keeping my streak and I've got a 1 right here, which is exciting. Right now my manager is going to get notified. He's got some information and now I'm keeping my streak. Right. I hope this is exciting. Very easy way for you to actually be an expert at marketing. All right. Now let's talk about my favorite part because I want to have question time. So I'm going to go in the next demo here. And I'm going to talk about the financials. So let's say you're in a report and let's go into the P&L, right? And I'm going to go in and look and notice you can have all your locations in here. I'm going to click on, I'm going to look at 12 months. Let's just look at this year. Okay. So I'm year to date. I'm going to run this and you can see the numbers. Now everything's drill downable and you can switch between the different views. We have the filters. You can save the views. You have all your scorecards right here. The new scorecard that is created is in this app as well. So you have the scorecard and you can assign half a scorecard to somebody or the whole scorecard, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on our expenses. I'm at a 68 here. My goal was, here. And so I'm going to click on my production expenses, right? Actually, that one's for the growth income. I'm going to go over the production expenses and the actual expenses. I'm going to click on this button here and I'm going to improve this, right? Now, what it's going to do is going to give me recommended strategies. There's a great book called Profit First, and they've got one called Perform Surgical Expense Elimination. So basically, most firms bleed 20 to 30% on forgotten or low value cost. And so this gives you a way to cut those costs, right? So I'm going to click this button. Now, what's cool is this actually has all information from QuickBooks for the whole year. So now the AI knows about your business, it knows your strategy, and it knows your last full year of expenses. So then it's going to help you make the right decisions, right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to fill out the value proposition or some details. I'm just going to make it, I'm going to put it in here real quick. I'm going to say, hey, I've got a lot of subscription expenses that I'm spending money on, and I'd like to reduce those. Could you focus on those? And I'd like itemized details and help reducing that based on the strategy of this book. And I want a plan so I can fix this in the next 7 days, period. So I'm going to run this. Okay. Now it knows a lot. The more context you give AI, the better. Right. And these newer models can have up to 1 million tokens. So you can actually take like the entire GL of a big giant Fortune 500 company and put it in here and it could tell you where all the subscription expenses are. I don't know how long that would take you. And then they could tell you what the contact numbers are to call them and the best way to get rid of the 15 top ones. How long would that take you to do? I don't know. But you could actually create that strategy in this product and then deliver that. Now we do have a affiliate program and a reseller program. So we'll be happy to talk to you more about that. If you reach out to us, because we got a lot of people joining us in this revolutionary change with AI. So here's this is amazing, right? This is a really short, practical thing, and it's giving you a breakdown. Subscription expense reduction, $50,000 a month. What? It's a lot. So much cost for a SaaS company. There, that talks about reducing cost 25%, and it says, cancel unusual add-ons and other items, right? Other cost of goods sold items, 9,000. And it actually knows, Azure expenses are this, core subscriptions are this. And so it's able to kind of know your business and give you this really nice thing. And it says assign immediately and execute 7-day plan, audit, and then to turn off these. Now, I didn't have to read the book. I didn't have to know anything about it. And I implemented the strategy. And now I need to just, run it. Now what's cool is if I go to my dashboard now, and I go and I'm looking at, my company and my score and everything like that. I'm able to go over here and I can see the strategies that have been assigned to me, right? And that's this one I just created. And it's actually tied to your financial P&L, cost of goods sold. And I can actually click on those in the actual reports. And so that way, here's 5 strategies to improve the score. And the customers that you have can actually see these numbers, see the strategies that you're helping with to achieve greater results. All right, let's go into questions now. So I'm going to kind of go back to our slide deck here. Now I am giving you that free gift. I'm going to give you this link here. It's going to be ready in about, probably maybe early next week. So save this link, take a screenshot, use the QR code. It's not ready yet, but it'll be ready here soon with 1,500 business books. Okay. Now, don't forget, we're able to do industry benchmarking and KPI scorecards. Right. And I did want to mention one more thing, the difference between us and Power BI, Tableau, and the other systems. Tableau, Power BI was made to do one organization. And so what I've seen CPA firms and bookkeeping firms, they try to use Power BI and they're like, I can't share it with my customers. It's just the security trimming's too hard. I can't just get this one scorecard item assigned to this one person. So you can actually, like, let's say I want Mike, he's my bookkeeper, and I want to assign him a health check. I can then assign it to him, and he only sees the health check scorecard or one scorecard only metric, and that's all he can see. You can't do that in Power BI without spending millions. So this gives you the ability to have something that can work for a 1,000-unit franchise, your own firm, and then move up to, a multi-unit, a VC company, individual, all the way down to a basic consumer, right? So it can handle all those use cases. So the choice is yours. AI will either lap you or launch you. I want to make sure that you're dominating the market with AI amplifying strategies that are going to help you be more successful. Let's talk about questions. What's holding you back from transforming your practice?
If anyone had any questions or wants a demo after this to go over any of the information in more detail about how Audimate works, either from a consolidated report standpoint, from a performance, how you can learn how to implement the strategies, there's going to be a great time to reach out to Brian. I use this for quite a bit of my consulting clients and firms that I support, and how it can take advantage of industries that, as in the previous poll question, we had notated we aren't experts in, or our staff aren't experts in, how we can use the context of our expertise or the context of our information, pull in one of the great strategies that the AI knows and implement it so that you're able to build these talking points, produce them as if it is part of your firm, and roll it out to your client. Rather than, general bookkeeping advice, which is what is my margin, how much money am I making? It's becoming more integral part of your business. So those are going to be things that you'll be able to book with Brian and his team afterwards, or you can reach out to myself and I can talk about how it's greatly helped.
Yeah, just to add, you can, secure an exclusive webinar bonus, kind of like Mike was saying, where you just scan this QR code, and then you can schedule a meeting with me or my sales team, and then you'll get a free growth strategy session. So if you have a problem client, I can't help this guy. He is just not doing what I'm saying. He needs some help in marketing. I'd like to be able to add that, or I'd love to see this in action with my business, my firm. Let's do it. We'll do it. It takes about 15 minutes for us to go through a whole demo with a real live QuickBooks account. It doesn't take us long. And during that demo, we can actually make you get results. And our guarantee is you'll walk away as long as you give us a connection, because we need data, right? We'll give you a strategy, we'll give you a focus goal, and we'll give you weekly accountability. That's a pretty nice thing to get. and you can schedule a 30-minute meeting to get that. Just click the link here and you can get started.
Now, Brian, one of the questions that they are asking in the Q&A right now is with the different, accounting programs, how can Automate work within it? And I think, Brian, one of the things that Automate does well is that it is interconnected to what I believe you said over 500 different applications,
That's right.
from point of sale to marketing to ERP systems, that allows, very simplified integrations. Now, on the call today, we are obviously here with Intuit. So, this is, you know, the main point of QuickBooks accounting, but Brian does integrate with a lot of different softwares. You can go on to his available apps, which he's showing on his screen to better answer those.
Here's like operational apps, marketing apps that you can connect to. And we do add new ones all the time. So if you just request a connection, we can add new ones. That's how we got so many. But the best thing you can do for a client is give them a single pane of glass where they can see all their data. They're actually going to love you for that. And then you start giving them strategies, they're going to really love you, right? Because you're going to show them what to do with that data.
So Brian, one of the questions I want to ask, from a general overview standpoint, is how can Automate provide specific examples or case studies of businesses using the AI advisory with QuickBooks that have achieved significant, reductions in manual data entry? How can you utilize your service to, improve efficiencies among different firms or clientele?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know what? I recently did I created this, and I could probably add this to our list of things, but this is hope you guys can see this. This is real research, right, from the
Brian,
market and
you're
what's
still
going.
showing there you go.
Okay, this is real research. Let me try to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this is all backed by real research. I can share this with you guys, but as you know, um, there is a lot of firms out there that are doing a lot of stuff with AI. Let me find it right here. Numbers don't lie. Um, Let me try to find my research. At the very bottom of this thing, you're going to find a big research section. And you can click on these. And these are different account firms that are using AI to do amazing things, doing, kind of with strategies and implementing them. And you can see like the real use cases, right? One of the most relevant data points I saw was that companies that aren't using AI are losing money, right? Let me see if I can find that. Um, so let's see here. Yeah, productivity gains. It's shown that if you use AI, there's a 20-30% boost, and this is all backed by research. Revenue growth, firms that are using AI the way we're talking about have grown 2.5% higher. There's a success rate. This is based on research, the ASTD study, if you follow the process. And then basically, this is going to give you some research. So just put a message in there, put your email in there, and we'll email this to you. But it has a bunch of research backing up everything that we're talking about. Great question.
I think one of the things that we want to wrap up on as we, encounter, oh, there's one more question. Francisco can answer, John, your question in the chat. But I think one of the things that we want to do wrap up on as we approach 3 o'clock is what Automate is doing is it's allowing for you to take the knowledge and power and enhancement that is AI. And what they've done is they've added the legwork of building in all of these great business strategies. AI is a broad canvas that we all can utilize, but if it's not given the right direction, the right context, the right information, it can only do so much. And by importing and utilizing your financial, your operating, your marketing information, by Brian and Automate software creating and having all of these incredible business strategies, all you have to do is give it the right context to allow your firm to incredibly enhance the services and the follow-ups you can do with your clientele. And this is not something that has to stay as if it's looking like it's Automate. This is information that can look like it's coming from your firm. This is business plans and goals and strategies that you can roll out to any of your clients that will only better enhance how you operate. The goal of this is, as we do in the accounting industry, is to be as sticky as possible, to add as much value to our customers, not just so that they don't want to leave, your service, but so that they want to be able to say, hey, Audimate's been fantastic. Firm X, Y, and Z has been so great offering me advice and offering me expertise that I don't want to ever leave them. I want to be able to refer them business. And that's what Audimate's trying to do, is being able to give your team, your staff, your firm a leg up, and to have the AI solutions that they provide enhance what you do and never to replace.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Any last questions?
I want to thank everybody for their time. Thank you so much for joining us today. Once again, just scan the QR code if you want to meet with me or my team, or Mike and as well. And then also, look out for your free gift. Your kids are going to love this. It's better than Spark Notes, and they can apply them and click a button. So it's kind of like cheating. So I hope you guys enjoy this free gift. We look forward to meeting with you and help you grow your practice faster. Thank you.